Can I get your telephone? Where's your telephone? Hello?
Yo, Mike, it's DQ.
Yo.
All right, so tell me about on the Bison. What can you do with your alignment?
Widen out.
Yeah, that way you can edge set and turn the ball back into all the big guys. Hey, that's the ones we learned from, and you got some of the ones in. And the ones I'd say on the mobile, like be super aggressive. That's your call to go dog somebody.
All right, can I get one more?
Nope, that's it for tonight.
I'm just getting like warmed up, adjusted.
Me too. So that's it. All right.
That was not enough.
I agree, but we get an extra one, so you'll get plenty next week.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Peace.
All right.
That was not enough, apparently, to the guys that didn't make the roster, and we've got those names. Plus, we got the official roster up for my girl KELZ with the intel. You see her down there below, and then my other guy down there below, Bob the Cannabis Cowboy. We are live back with the 53-man roster review. The review is in.
Football time, baby. Football time.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on now. We're live on 3 platforms. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on YouTube. We are reviewing the 53-man roster. This is the official roster. It is out now. Everybody's got it. It's everywhere. We are going to break it down. We're going to take your questions. We'll discuss those that didn't make it, those that did. So come one, come all, and join us because there's already been some news earlier today when Bob and I was on the show about who's getting cut. And Deuce Vaughn is already out of here, KELZ. What's your take on Deuce being cut loose?
Well, I will not all the way say that he is out of town because there is a possibility that tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time that he could be put on the practice squad.
Right, and explain that to everybody. So tomorrow by noon, we'll know how many are we carrying on the practice squad again? Is it 16?
Now it's 17.
Oh, 17.
And that's including the international player.
All right, and so after today, they make the 53-man cuts. Then tomorrow we'll learn who was on the practice squad. So obviously, players who that are on the bubble, could you just share with us right quick with the players that are on the bubble as we get ready to get into this 53-man roster?
So the players that were on the bubble before the cut was, of course, Mozzie Smith, Andrew Booth, Miles Sanders. That's only because, he was injured. Damone Clark and Johnny Cornelius.
So Mozzie Smith, who was on the bubble, it's a Taco Tuesday, and I had to go to the throwback. I had to dig into files. There's not much clips out there on Mozzie, but when he does have something to say, listen to what he has to say.
What's been for you guys after the noise from the last 2 weeks?
Block out the noise. People be talking and chirping it. Nobody worried about that. And if they worried about it, they worried about the wrong thing. So ain't nobody getting out there playing around for us, with us. I don't care what they got to say.
So a lot of folks are saying, well, we should have let Mozzie go. He hasn't been producing. And some folks are saying we're still weak at defensive tackle, but we're going to go take a look at this 53-man roster and really examine that ourselves. Bob, what was any surprises that you heard of today that surprised you, Bob, on the rosters? Anything?
None whatsoever. And there's not going to be any surprises, if I'm being honest. I think it's just going to be those things where we knew some obvious people that were there in order to motivate the people above them, and we're going to get cut eventually. I really thought Deuce was going to be gone last year, but this year it makes sense. There's really nothing that's surprising me here other than what our owner and defensive end are doing. But the roster really, that's really what we got to pay attention to, because for all we know, really next week, this time, it could be completely different, at least with a couple positions with some free agency pickups. I don't know.
Right. Because this is just the initial roster.
It's what they're forced to do.
What they have to turn in. Like, CJ Goodwin. He was him and Israel Mukwamu were signed this year for free agency. And they were both waived. But as far as CJ Goodwin, that has always been the case with him ever since he's been with the Cowboys. They have always waived him. And then as soon as 12 noon hits, or just say 11 a.m. Central Time, then put him back on a practice squad, and then when it's time for game day, then they will finagle that 53-man roster.
No doubt.
Got you. So before we get into this roster, this initial rough, if you've seen that intro there, it's a Throwback Tuesday. We went back to the Hall of Fame game where Micah was told to sit down at the Hall of Fame game. He wanted to get some more reps, but he's been apparently trying to work this deal out. And I don't want to talk about this much because I know KELZ don't want to talk about it too much, but I went and grabbed this clip. I want to play this for y'all so that way y'all can check it out, because it does add a little context when it comes to communication with Jerry, because 53 guys, according to today, about to get some direct deposit. Let's listen to what Dion got Jerry plugged in his phone as.
How is Jerry Jones listed in your phone? What does it say?
Direct deposit. DD. That's what he's under.
Answer was,
I don't put anybody up on the real names. Direct deposit.
Direct deposit rings.
That's what it was years ago.
Okay, so direct deposit rings.
That's my man.
So direct deposit is Jerry just don't have David Mugaletta's number saved. Is that what it is? Is direct deposit? Because we don't know if he's going to get paid. But let's go ahead. That is just an icebreaker to get into our 53-man roster. We appreciate this. Kel has already posted this in OAT. So if you're a member in our group, it is posted in OAT for your views and pleasure. KELZ, you have the stage with your intels. How would you like to go through this 53-man roster review?
Some stuff I was correct about. We are carrying 4 running backs and a fullback.
You did say that, and a fullback. I remember that.
I did say between 3 to 4 tight ends. So the top 3, they were listed, which was Fergie, Scooney, and Span. They are carrying 5 wide receivers, but I think I said that earlier, like during the whole draft.
You said 5 to 6. 5 to 6 is what you
Yep.
said. As B-Mac chimes in and says, I was surprised about Holden. Me too. His stock was up.
I think,
but he was.
As far as Trayshawn, I'm hoping that Will McClay will be on the phone with one, and Shoddy will be on the phone with another, getting him and Goodwin back at 12 p.m. noon. So that's what I'm hoping. They are carrying 9 O-line. The one I'm very
Well, we had 10 with Awesome Richards, right? But we traded Awesome Richards to the Saints for a 2028 draft pick, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of folks are complaining, why did we let him go for nothing? And I'm like, we got a 2028 draft round.
We got a 6th round.
Yeah, 6th round 2028 pick.
And I don't like the year that we getting them, 2028.
Yeah, that is a couple of years out.
I
mean, is it because I listened to the Schottenheimer press release, and basically he was saying instead of just letting them go and got anything, we kind of got a pick in return, because they said that New Orleans was heavily interested in him because they were targeting him and had him on his radar, and that's why they called about him, and that's why we ended up getting that 2028.
Well, I know Awesome was on New Orleans draft board on that draft class.
Okay. Good deal. Sterling's tapping in and says, I feel good about every position, but cornerbacks still lacking there, as we got the news that Trayvon Diggs has been practicing, going to be activated, not on the PUP to start the season. Is he going to start week 1? Good question. I think that's what Sterling is getting at, especially on these defensive backs, because let's take a look at them here.
We're carrying
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, a whole 10 piece.
Yes. If you look at defensive back, the number is right there of what we're carrying, but that can all change. Like I said, this is just something to fill in. Because remember, was it yesterday's show? Yeah, yesterday's show. Or was it Sunday? Whatever day it was.
One of them shows, yeah.
Yeah, one of them shows.
Do a lot.
Yeah. That when we did the roster a couple of years ago, we had to put Dak on there because we did not have no quarterback at the time. So we had to put a quarterback on there. So we waived Butter to put Dak on. And then the next day we picked up Aubrey and put him on the practice squad until it was time for us to play, and then we moved one of the cornerbacks into to IR. Now, earlier today, yesterday, as a matter of fact, Phil Maffa was put on a practice injured reserve, and that was only to keep him on the roster, because normally when you're on IR, it does not count against the 53-man roster. So they moved him and put him on IR for a shoulder injury.
This was a couple years ago, right?
No, this just happened yesterday.
Okay,
with Phil Maffa.
With Maffa. Okay, I'm late. Go ahead.
They put him on for a shoulder injury on a PUP list,
right?
So they could keep him. And then today, that's when they let go one of the players, and then they put him back into the 53-man roster. That's why I say the Cowboys,
musical chairs.
Yeah, the Cowboys have always had a way of stashing players that they like.
Do it like that, especially if you got practice squads and stuff that they can pull from. Yeah, definitely hide them under whatever you need to hide them under.
Yeah.
So taking a look at the cornerbacks here, you got Trayvon Diggs, Kyer Elam, who we traded for, Kalen Carson, who was nicked up and stuff, Andrew Booth, who we seen in preseason, DeRon Bland, who's up for a deal next year, and then Zion Childress was who KELZ was talking about. He actually made the roster along with. Did James Houston make it too as well?
James Houston is on there. He's under.
Yeah, he should.
He's on under the D line.
Okay, there he goes. Yep. Where'd he go? Defensive line. There he is, right there, number 53. Yeah. So going back to these cornerbacks, I mean, are we still now in a position to where we need to, I know we always keep the waiver wire open. We're always looking for bodies. We're always interviewing or whatever the case. You know what the front office always says. I mean, where is our biggest need right now? Because folks are saying, even though we signed Mozzie or we retained Mozzie Smith on the roster, we're still hurting that defensive tackle. So is it D tackle or cornerback, or where do we have our biggest weakness at after you're looking at this roster, KELZ?
I'm not so much worried about defensive tackle because we got Perry and Winfrey,
which was a big part of Shotty's press conference. If you heard, it was a real emotional thing. I guess he said he came in, Perry and Winfrey thought he was going to get cut. They ended up telling him he made it. The guy was really emotional. So Perry on Winfrey was talked about a lot today in the Shotty's presser. If you didn't get a chance, make sure and go check it out. But yeah, it's always good news to hear the guys who make it or get that check and going to get that direct deposit, right?
Yeah.
No doubt.
So I'm not so much worried about that. I'm still kind of on the fence as far as with our secondary.
Yeah.
Like I said, I do like Zion Childress because he will be playing the position that Jay Lou.
Oh, okay. The nickel spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nickel spot ain't
and I think
your average position.
Yeah, and I think they also going to work Trayvon Diggs in as well as a nickel.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get some reps in there. I don't know if it's so tough. We seem to be having all these players that always have ACL or MCL injuries, and we take gambles on them. I mean, I'm hoping he comes back. I would love to see Diggs and Bland together at top form. That would be really something for the league to deal with. And if we can get back to that, that'd be great. Because it's suspect right now.
I'm looking for the linebacker that came from the Chiefs. He didn't make the squad, huh? The guy that won a couple of rings. Is it Darius Harris was his name? Linebacker?
Yeah, he was released.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of noticeable names, but I mean, obviously Trayshawn Holden was one. And then our little boy Blue, who actually he came out and just tweeted, or just posted rather. He's back in 23. So it looks like he's going to be wearing number 23. Our little boy Blue is going to be back in 23. That's all I can take from it. Is that what you gather from that, Bob?
Sure. This is going back in time.
Jerry gonna sell some jerseys. I mean, and then taking a look at that because I was tracking the ESPN depth chart. So now looking at that when it comes to the running backs, so that's Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, Jaden Blue, and now Phil Maffa is running back 4 with Hunter Lipke as the fullback. So you got 4 running backs and a fullback, which is something new because last year I think we only carried 4 running backs, if I'm not mistaken. And Hunter was one with 3 running backs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to change it up sometimes. As long as it meets the end number, they don't care what you have.
Yeah, it was just interesting. You know, we had five in the backfield, a fullback, and 4 running backs. And now we only carry 5 receivers. So taking a look at this receiver squad, who is really wide receiver 3? So listening to Shotty on his press conference after the fact, he was saying Ryan Flournoy sold the deal.
He's gonna be wide receiver 3.
Yeah, he sold the deal with his special teams play. That's what got Ryan Flournoy over the hump because y'all remember we did draft Ryan Flournoy a couple of years. So you got Jalen Tolbert there too as well. Man, that is a stacked wide receiver room. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jalen Tolbert, Kavontae Turpin, and Ryan Flournoy. Woo-wee. And then we didn't even go through those tight ends yet. We got 4 tight ends.
3
tight ends. Okay, so Luke, Jake, and Brevin span forward. Y'all seen Fairweather got cut. Even
I hope they bring him back.
Yeah, Big John Stevens got let go too. I've seen him the last couple of years at camp. So y'all let us know down in the comments below. What was your biggest surprise on this first 53 cut as it is cut down day around the league today? I'm just happy we're one step closer because I was telling KELZ in the green room, Bob, we're like next week. And it's game next week.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. That's why I had all this urgency on my chest for the last 2 weeks. Like, get this deal done, y'all. We have to get Micah practicing. We have to get him live, you know. But so you know what? Let's just pretend in our minds as fans that he's not going to play because that's really what we've got to do because he won't be in there full time even if he does play. So hopefully we've got what we've got in terms of young, hungry defensive linemen and defensive ends saying to themselves, you know what, man, I don't give a damn that this dude's in. Now that he's not in, it's my turn to shine. So. I mean, that's hopefully what we got.
And like I said, I'm okay if he's not there for week 1 because, you know, he's not football ready. He's not in football shape. All it takes is just one hit from Lane Johnson or that center. All it takes is just one good hit and he's out. But I'm okay because we got Ezzy, we got Solomon Thomas, we got James Houston, we got Shamar James. I'm good.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dak was in the media as of yesterday and was asked about this offense, and you know, we've been trying to explain to Cowboy fans around here what the purpose of preseason is or whatnot, because everybody in the Cowboys fan base, well, at least a good majority of fans that don't understand what preseason is about, don't seem to think that if you win the Super Bowl in the preseason, you won't win any games in the regular season. But as I digress, Dak was asked about the offense, and this is what he had to say in case you missed it on our Romo days earlier with Bob and I.
Yeah, playing in the preseason, and Schottenheimer's talked a lot about keeping it kind of vanilla with what he's shown on offense and that. What should Cowboys fans expect to see from this offense this year?
Yeah, an exciting offense. We've kept it vanilla for a reason. So excited about getting out there and putting it all on display next Thursday.
That's going to be the big question. How is this offense going to look game 1, much less the defense, like what we're saying? I believe if Micah's even on a limited count and not at full strength, like I said, if Micah's not playing, Troy's already came out and said that. He said it loud for everybody, especially those in the back, that, you know, Micah, the Cowboys can't win without Micah. And I know you said, KELZ, you had us with an L on Thursday Night Football originally, even with Micah. Bob, where are you feeling with or without Micah? How are you feeling with us going with or without going into week 1?
First of all, I can't wait for the day where Dak's hat can say Cannabis Cowboy across it. That would be pretty dope, as opposed to just classic Cowboy. But
that
you know what?
Clean hat, though.
It is a clean hat. I'll tell you this. I would really like, and I was actually going to pose this question to both of you. What's going to happen if we win that game without Micah and our defensive ends do very well?
The show goes on.
But I mean,
Show
like
goes
very
on.
well in terms of like, you know, let's say catching the kind of sack numbers that Micah would have got by himself. So we get maybe like 3 or 4 out of 2 of them. You think that hurts Micah's, if he doesn't get signed before that point, you think that hurts Micah's chances if other teammates perform in his stead when he's fighting for a contract?
I don't think it hurts his chances. I think we know, just like when we had Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush, the quarterback controversy that Jerry kind of poured gas on. I think I could see Jerry doing that with Micah if he's not playing or holding out, whatever the case. We don't know over the next few days what may happen. Hell, we may get news here, hopefully today, that Micah signed. But, you know, I think Jerry will pour gas on it and, you know, try to stir things up in the media, you know. But that will be good. Really, that will be good for those guys like Marshawn Nealon and Sam Williams and those guys. Yeah, because we need that depth there, because God almighty, we couldn't stop the run last year, KELZ, who was ranked 28th.
This is this is still a division game, man, which is really why I'm putting so much on this. It was why it was such a big deal. Not that it was just Philly, because it was Philly, NFC East. This has to be a win for us out of the gate, man. And you know, I felt like if we just didn't have this stupid distraction, it was the one distraction I felt like we had was the Micah thing. Everything else was going great. We talked about it in the Romo show. I thought it was going to be that 1 year where we just get a new regime, a new system. We get a great pick in George Pickens and just shut up and just go into the season. It never can be that way. It all has to be all this crazy shit now. And is, you know, Micah laying down on a table. But I really think at the very least we've got a shot. Everyone's got a shot in the NFL. It's not like, you know, we're not a bunch of schmuck teams. But I'm a little worried, man. I'm a little worried because I don't want to see our team lose on Thursday night. We have such a high chance of that happening.
You seem like you have a lot of anxiety, Bob, about this Friday, about what the outcome could be on Friday. Like I'm really feeling that. I know a lot of Cowboy fans. I feel a little bit of that too. But there's also the flip side of that. I mean, we could see the Cowboys go up. We could go see the Cowboys. Yeah, we could see the Cowboys go up to the link and do the unthinkable. And, you know, we break streaming records. I mean, all kinds of scenarios could happen. And that's what really surprises me is that most fans believe, and even we've shared here without Micah or with Micah, that the Cowboys maybe don't have a chance. And I think that's a lot to do with our defense being ranked at 28 last year. And especially if we're coming into that first game against Saquon Barkley without our best defender. KELZ, how are you feeling? Do you think that's Jerry going to throw gas on it? How you think that's going to play out for those other guys, other defensive ends, if Micah doesn't get any run time on game one?
So here's 3 things. One, it was never a distraction to me because, like I said, I've been over it since April.
Yeah, I remember when I first asked you, you said we got till November for when free agency is over with. Talk to me then.
Right.
You didn't sound like that though.
but yeah. Then the other point is, like I said, I had the game as an L anyway, and it has nothing to do with how we ranked last year. I'm looking at from the standpoint that we're now under a new coaching era, and it's going to take Shotty at least year 2 to have everything gelled together the way that he wants. It's not, everything is not going to be in one setting.
So I'm glad you bring that up, because if we get into 3-4, if we, you know, I was thinking, you know, I was in the shower. I do a lot of thinking in the shower, like Jerry, obviously. You know, what happens if we win both games? That's crazy. Well, what if we split? Okay, maybe between the Eagles and the Giants, I'm talking week 1 and week 2. And then what if we could start out 0-2? Because y'all know if we start out 0-2, taking an L at New York and at the home opener, which I will be at, I'm going to be mad as hell, because I was mad. I left out halftime last year when the Saints put 35 on us in the first half. But, you know, it could go one of 3 ways. And, you know, this defense without Micah Parsons, I mean, without your best defender, I mean, like y'all let us know in the comments below. Can the Cowboys pull off the unthinkable without Micah?
So, yeah. So my thing is, we have, I have it as a win. I mean, I have it as an L anyway because of this new coaching era, and
yeah, that's what my other point was. It may take us 5 games we may be in a hole, and oh my God, the sky is really falling in Dallas.
And we have a
fire Shotty, Jerry, what were you doing? You know, all that's gonna come.
And we have a new playbook, And then also as far as with Philly, yeah, they lost a lot of players, but they still got a chunk of those players that played the last couple of years during their playoff run. So ain't that much change. And then they still got Fangio.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the question. Is he going to be able to? There's been a lot of turnover, like what you bring up in Philly. Can Vic Fangio do a Houdini? I don't think he did a Houdini last year in the Super Bowl on Pat Mahomes with that defense, but most of those guys are going now. But I'm saying week one, no film on this offense. I mean, there's too many variables here. Week one, game one.
And that's the advantage with Fangio, because he knows how to do in-game adjustments.
Something we didn't see a lot with Mike McCarthy or Jason Garrett, right? Well, I guess we're going to see under the Shoddy era.
Jason has done a couple of in-game adjustments. Yeah. It was just that when we got McCarthy and we had Mike Nolan, he basically didn't do nothing. And then we had Dan Quinn. Yes, Dan Quinn was good, but he was also stuck in his ways and want to keep the same thing going, which made our plays very unpredictable, because they knew what we was going to do on defense. But we have Flus, and Flus knows how to make in-game adjustments. So that's one thing. And then I just thought about another point. Let's just say if we pull the unthinkable and we win against Philly without Micah, and then New York comes to us, let's say the way that this roster is set now, and New York comes to us and we do well with or without Micah, let's just say without Micah, and then they activate Micah for week 3, I'm like this. The show must go on.
That it must. But getting back to the roster, if you're just tapping in on all 3 platforms, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube, we thank you for joining us today. The Cowboys rough roster is out. The 53-man. It is cut day around the league. All rosters have been submitted to the NFL headquarters, and this is what we are working with. You know, Shotty did come out a couple of weeks ago and said there will be some names on this roster. Might be surprised. That was Deuce Vaughn, Trayshawn Holden. I believe those are the couple of names that stick out the most to me. Y'all let us know in the comments down below. I know a lot of folks are hoping Deuce Vaughn will get cut or get waived. But like KELZ said, tomorrow by noon tomorrow, you said the practice squad will be determined. So we don't have any plug on any of the practice squad or any of the names right now. It's just going to be, you're going to get a list of 16 names, and that's who we know it's going to be.
17
names. You have any folks that you believe that were on the bubble, like, Holden, or, could you go through a list of any of those names that you think? Or maybe with the Cowboys, are we getting ready to look at this free market? Because essentially all the teams have cut a lot of the players away. So let us know in the comments below. Are there any players we should focus on?
I sent you the list of the players that was waived, released, traded, and that's on reserve.
Yeah, I got it.
Does everybody feel comfortable with Joe Milton as our backup if anything should happen?
They're going to put Will Greer back in.
What's that mean? He's off, so he's coming to the practice squad?
He's released, so they're going to put him on the practice squad. Or they might sign him to the practice squad and then put him on IR. And then they're going to finagle that roster, because they are going to carry 3 running backs, Lord, 3 quarterbacks. Who I hope that they could bring back. Of course, they're going to bring back CJ Good.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Izzy got waived also or released. Yeah.
Yeah. So
CJ Keemon Hall.
I want him to come back.
Yeah, I was surprised. There's a lot of competition at some positions for camp, though. That was a good thing. We had some guys.
Israel 6'4", man. That's a big loss there at safety, man. I like that kid.
Yeah. Didn't he have a pick in the preseason too as well?
And he had some in regular season, and he'll jump for it. He's a little scrappy, skinny dude. He is a scrappy, skinny dude.
Now, how many of the rookies that we drafted, KELZ, did we actually retain on our roster? Did we keep all of our rookies, or were there any one that didn't make it?
All but one, which is Tommy King Basote from Maryland. But
Okay.
I'm hoping we could get him on the practice squad because I really like him.
I want to see Overshown, man.
Yeah, we got Mingo. We got Mingo on reserve, injured. Turner Payton, defensive end. And then it looks like Josh Butler. There's Overshown down. Folks are asking where was Overshown on the 53-man roster. He's on the reserve pup right now. Then that NFI, Siobhan Revel. What is the update on Siobhan Revel and his status, KELZ, in terms of his return? Are you any intel on that?
I know during training camp he was working on the out of bounds between the 10 and the 50-yard line, doing work with our training camp and everything. He didn't have a brace on, like towards, I want to say around like week 2 or week 3 of training camp. He didn't have a brace on his leg, but he was still working with the what is it, the cords. He had the cords.
Oh, working with Brett on the bands.
Okay. So but he's still on schedule to appear by between week 6 and week 8.
So should the Cowboys be in the market? Because I think you said we had about 30-something million on the books currently. Or the Cowboys, I mean, damn, we got money on the books. We got pretty much a good-looking roster to start out. We're not really in a lot of bad need like we needed coming into the draft with wide receiver 2, because we got Pickens. We got quarterback 2, which Bobby's tapping in down there below for you. Bobby says, depends on what Joe Milton shows up. Last preseason game, Milton was doing really well. I couldn't agree more. That Milton we need.
So right now we have $31,411,965 in cap space.
Yeah, Ryan asked a great question. That's what I'm thinking too as well. Do you think we make any last second moves besides Parsons week 1? I don't know, unless something develops.
Yeah, we're gonna pick some cheap people up at the bottom of the roster for sure.
I'm gonna tell you right now, on week 1, we are not carrying no 10 defensive backs.
And that's how many we got on here right now?
To Philly, yeah.
Oh yeah. We're real deep at defensive back. Is that kind of why we let Awesome Richards go? I think we had 10 over there also, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we got 9 offensive linemen, 10 defensive linemen. How many do you think?
So what happened was I had Awesome Richards. I didn't have a Johnny Cornelius.
Right. No, I'm just talking about the total number. So we got 9 offensive linemen. You're saying we're not going to carry 10 defensive linemen going into Philly. What's that number looking like to you?
No, I'm talking about defensive backs.
Oh, DBs. Okay, got
you. Yeah, the secondary.
1, 2, 3, got you. 4, 5, 6. Okay, correct. So 10 defensive backs. So we're not going to Philly with 10 DBs. What's that looking like going into Philly?
I can see us now. We have 4? We have 4 safeties. I could see them coming to Philly. The cornerbacks, I could see Diggs, Elam, Bland, Childress going. I don't think Booth. If Booth goes, they will put Booth in. Let's say if we're up some points and the game is almost over with, and then they'll take all the starters out and they put like our second and
garbage
third
time.
string in.
Garbage time, yeah.
Yeah, I could see Booth going in for that part, but
because he played some this preseason too, and I think he had some ups and downs in the preseason as well. Joe says we still can't stop the run. Well, we haven't played any games yet. We still haven't played any games since last season.
I'm not even going to respond to that, because how you know what we still can't stop, and it's not even week 1 yet. We haven't
give Joe a break in Italy. He's got sleep in his eye. He's got sleep in his eye over there. He's just waking up.
I'm sorry.
We can't see it. Don't judge anything by that preseason, man. Dak just said it.
If anybody knows me, they know I am all gas, no brakes, and I will no. I don't give nobody no shortcuts, no chances, no nothing. No.
Now, in terms of Richardson, that's not going to be a no-go. I don't think whatever's going on over there. I know they benched him for whoever their star. Who is it? Daniel Jones is the quarterback over Anthony Richardson. And, hey, we could be like them. That could be the Cowboys. We could have that kind of situation going on over there. But
hey, that's crazy to think of, man.
Sterling, this was my issue. This is my issue with Richardson because it's the same question that BG asked a couple of weeks ago. If we were to sign Richardson, it will still be a project quarterback.
Because it's essentially kind of like Joe Milton, but
it's another Joe Milton.
With a year experience, but plus he's been injured.
Right.
So yeah, I know he's available on the market, but yeah, we're not messing.
You don't just normally you can't just take somebody and pop them into your system and they just start doing what they do in Madden. It doesn't really work that way at all.
Right. And then, and speaking of that, like when it comes to the tight ends, I know we're jumping around, but I like John Stevens Jr. I think the only thing that was riding against him ever since he's been on the team has been the injuries.
Yeah, he got injured twice.
Yeah.
The first year he was injured in a preseason game and warm-ups or something like that. And then he was injured in training camp the second year. I was like, damn, that's why I was surprised to see him at training camp again this year. But man, hey, some folks got to go. Not everybody gets that direct deposit like you seen, Micah's trying to get, but Dion seemed to have got it. But 53 men are there now. It could be changing because after tomorrow, like KELZ had said, the Cowboys are wizards at practice squad, injured reserve, and active roster musicians.
Yeah, I'm reading Leonardo's question. He said, "Why would they bring Deuce back to show how to pick up negative yards?" Are we talking about in season or during preseason?
Oh, I think the slander's in on.
Yeah, he's just saying, "Hey, why would we bring him back just to lose yards?" Like. Maybe it was probably a.
I'm just trying to think what yards did he lose. I'm trying. I just want clarity because let's say had we drafted Deuce Vaughn with this new coaching regime, he would be okay because
he would get inserted in the system and be used the right way.
Right,
not like Stash, like Turpin and Deuce both did under McCarthy.
Right, and he will be. And he's just like another Jaden Blue. Like they could hide themselves in that defensive line, and then they will pop out. And by the time you realize what's going on, they're making their way to the end zone.
And both of them are actually pretty impressive run blockers, pass blockers.
Yes.
They're really freaking good, man. Deuce was, when you're that low, that's really the advantage, if I'm being honest. If you didn't do anything with Deuce other than keep him in for pass protection, you'd still be in a positive because he was pretty damn good.
And my thing is, when we drafted Deuce Vaughn, I said, everybody was talking about, I said, we got a power back. How can he be a power back if he's so short? I said, apparently you wasn't watching film, you wasn't watching tape, and you probably never seen the Kansas State game in your life.
No, they just listen to ESPN and Get Up and all of that type of stuff, or or Jason Whitlock, whatever his name, who cares? But hey, Bob, get your man's. Your man's playmaker said 12-5, and there is his dubs and losses. I know we got the 53-man roster. We went through the projections. We got the roster. Y'all know it's coming. We got week 1 next week. Cowboy predictions. My girl KELZ said an L off the rip. Last season I went 13-4 and got 8 up. I can tell you I ain't going looking at 13-4 this year, Bob. How you feeling about your guy playmakers picks at 12-5?
Man, look, the reason why I love that dude is because he was the same way out there growing up in Miami. Well, he was in Fort Lauderdale, but when he was playing at UM, it was the same shit. He had that energy. He had that just infectious positivity, like we're going to win. And so I think that he's just doing what he does every year for the Dallas Cowboy fan base. And he puts out a shitload of positive stuff out there while exactly pretending like he wants to throw negative stuff out there, but he doesn't. He gave us a very generous first half of the season. I understand the second half's going to be tough anyway, But if we're talking about really only losing one in that first half of the season, shit, I'll take that. I'll take that all year.
Let me see his prediction again, because I haven't done my prediction yet.
Yeah, he ain't got us losing until Green Bay,
and then not again until after the.
Yeah, we go on a 3-game win streak to open up, then a 5-game win streak, and then we lose to Philly, KC, and Detroit, and then we lose to Washington late in the season. Again, I mean, I like it, but I don't think we are 12-5, especially like what KELZ had said. This is going to be the real test right here. It's going to be the leadership when the season starts. And, you know, like that famous Mike Tyson quote, everybody got a plan until you get your ass punched in the mouth. So the Cowboys could come get punched in the mouth first 2 games of the season. We're going to hear the sky is falling, fire shoddy. I wish Jerry was in the pine box. Give it to somebody else. I'm done being a fan. I'm boycotting. Fuck the Cowboys. You know it's coming because this new leadership, it's going to take a little bit of time to mesh together. We're not going to knock it out the park coming in. I would like to see it at least game 1. Sure, we knock it out of the park. But after that, because I don't want my guy Bob to have so much anxiety about that Friday on the game after. But, you know, KELZ, how you feeling about Playmakers 12-5 picks?
Right now, I keep saying that I can only see us doing the Landry shift between like 8 or 9 times.
Hey, Michael's just doing the wrong thing for the right reasons, man.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's very
he's a very pom-pomish. I get it. Yeah, I was pom-pomish last year. I mean, we went 12-5. I said, fuck it, 13-4. Can't be too off. Then we go 7-10 and get 8 up. Well, I'll tell you, I'm not going double digits this year because I tell you, if we don't have Micah up game 1, I'm not giving the Cowboys a win on the road. However, I would love for the Cowboys to prove me wrong if that were the case, to play without Micah and get that dub.
I'm not putting all this if Mike is here, okay. If Mike is not here, okay.
I know where you're at.
Let's move on.
You said we'll go with
no matter what. We got to roll no matter what. And I honestly, we understand that when we go through such a drastic coaching change, things are different. It doesn't really work where you just walk into success. Dan Quinn was a head coach before. That really doesn't count either. You know, it's a weird thing for you to just come in and be massively successful. We want that as Dallas Cowboys fans. Everybody in America wants that because everything is a click away. Everything is a phone tap away. That's just not really what's going to happen, man. We have to really get a grip on what could possibly go down, which is a realistic rebuild, which can come with a lot of freaking losses.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good on paper, and that's why I want to ask this question now. Top brings in a good segue. He says Cowboys much better than last season. Right now, compared to last year, right now, when we got our roster compared to last year, are we better right now on paper than we were last year? Bob, I'll throw it to you first.
Are we a lot better on paper than we were last year?
It looks the same to me. The thing is the translation on the field.
I think though it was a little bit of a wash until Pickens came to town, and then we sort of added because Pickens can take the place of 2 wide receivers, which he basically did, and we don't know what it's like yet to have a 2 number ones. We haven't had anything like that in a long time, which could very well open things up for the running game instead of the other way around. I think our running game is going to be based off of our pass, which is not something we did. We would run it at the wrong times, but we would run it. So I don't know. I think honestly, we're probably just a couple ticks better simply because of the coaching staff. The coaching staff automatically it just felt gray with McCarthy. I don't know how to explain it. It was very vanilla and gray.
It just fell in place, and then
man, it wasn't anything popping. So
we didn't hear like what we did this year, where coaches went out and got other coaches they wanted, and they went and got other players that they wanted to put in the system.
Buy in. I didn't hear shit. I didn't hear McCarthy ever say anything about buying in, man, because nobody was buying in. So I just don't know.
KELZ, throw it to you. Are we better this season right now on paper than we were last season coming out with this roster?
Right now, it to me, it still looks the same. I mean, we had good players last year, but it was just how it was translated. You know, last year we had the all in season. This year is just, wait and see. Let's just see how it's going to go.
Hey, I'm like my guy Sterling, the Sterling standard. I'm kind of feeling that 9 and 8-ish because right now The sports book, which is one of the 4 opponents every team faces each week, has got the Cowboys missing the playoffs at 7.5 games this season. I think 9 is attainable.
And I know Irv has us winning Chicago. And I'm not being a Debbie Downer. But Chicago ain't nothing to play around with this year. You know how we was always talking about, like with Arizona? This is going to be that that trap game with Chicago.
Well, I'm glad we got Eberflus, who used to coach Chicago, and Jack Sanborn, who's the green dot. I hear you.
I'm gonna give you 2 words. Al Harris.
Oh yeah, that's right. Al Harris did go. Yeah, his secondary coach now. He's secondary coach with the Chicago Bears.
He was a bad man.
So yeah, definitely could be a trap game, especially if we come out gunning like Playmaker got us, winning at Philly, winning in Texas, and we play Chicago at home.
No, in Chicago.
In Chicago, in the Windy City. Oh,
and the only reason why I'm saying that because we've had Al Harris for what, 3-4 years? We had him during the whole McCarthy regime.
Yeah.
Okay. The players that Al Harris helped draft is still with us.
Yeah.
And and even though the playbook will be different, he knows those players' mentalities.
Yeah.
And he knows their strength and he knows their weakness.
That's exactly what.
So I can already see him, and not only he's working with the defensive backs, he is also a passing game coach for Chicago's defense.
Kenneth Gaffney brings up a great point. He says, hope Pickens keeps a cool head. I don't think we see a crash out of Pickens in Dallas. I think it's a different scenario compared to Pittsburgh. I think that change of scenery may have done. I could be wrong. Maybe we do see him crash out and fool everybody. But I don't know, Bob. Do you see Pickens crashing out with the Cowboys this season at all? Especially with him on the 1 year with his deal, looking at what Terry McLaurin just got paid in DC and looking at Jerry after he's getting ready to pay Micah. Like Pickens is like, yeah, I'm next.
We're not coaches, so we don't know what it's like to coach in Pittsburgh, but there's some weird shit that went on with their wide receivers for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's the way
your brother's a big Steelers fan.
My brother's Steelers fan is the reason why I'm a Cowboys fan. Yes. And it's a weird thing that they have going on there. So I don't know that we can judge him just yet. However, if it becomes a situation where something happens and unfortunately he doesn't get his share of passes, we may see that because again, we're basically only renting him this year. I don't see us locking him down because if he has a really, really good year, he's going to ask for top wide receiver money, and we've already got a top wide receiver. I just don't see Jerry saying, all right, we're going to give somebody else 30 million, 40 million, whatever the case may be. So I don't think we'll see a crash out simply because this is a huge testing year for him. It's his first year out of where he was drafted from. It's his first year away from the Steelers and all this other stuff. He has to be able to say that I am coachable, I am marketable, I am purchasable. And if that's exactly the case,
then, even if he doesn't sign with the Cowboys, you still got to do that because
he's doing stuff for somebody, and he's making sure that the best Pickens is there. Now, if his crash out happens, then we got ourselves, a Brown situation or a situation where maybe somebody has some issues beyond football. But I just don't think it's going to happen, man.
KELZ, we're going to see Pickens crash out in Dallas?
I don't think so, no.
Gerald says he's in a contract year. Pickens will be fine. He wants to be in Dallas. He'll be locked in this season so he can get a bag somewhere else. Yeah, because, it's going to be interesting because Micah gets paid and Dax got paid. CD's got paid. I don't know. Do we got enough money? We got 30-something million right now, but we haven't paid Micah. But everybody's saying the Cowboys is broke because we paid Dak and CD.
Can we stop saying that he hasn't been paid? Micah has been paid.
Well, you know what I'm saying. He's not been extended. I'm sorry. You're right. He hasn't. He's been paid. You're right. He hasn't been extended yet.
The problem is if we don't do anything this year, at the end of the season, if we don't do anything with that 31 million, even if we don't touch anything, we go down to only negative $5 million. Once we go to 2027, we hop back up to $72 million in cap space, which could be much bigger. But the thing is that that's all tentative because people are going to come and go. Those numbers are going to flip flop. But that 31 million is a weird number because it looks big, but it really isn't.
No, because only a certain amount will roll over.
Right.
And then whatever is left over will go towards whatever dead cap that we have on the books.
The dead cap it's getting better for us, but it's still an issue.
Well, in other news, did y'all hear about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift tying the knot? The city of brother in love. Look at them. The city of brother in love. Yeah, Kelce and Swift are engaged. Are you a Swiftie, KELZ, or not? KELZ, you're not a Swiftie? KELZ giving me the death look. I can't even look at it.
We got $29 million in dead money, by the way, if anybody's asking that question. $29 million in dead money would do all three of us together. If we split $29 million, it would be a live money for us. We'd be thriving. The Cowboys got $29 million in dead. So that's a crazy number right there too. Hopefully again.
Okay. Well, I see KELZ didn't laugh at my joke, but it's all good. So this is the 53-man roster show, y'all. Let us know if you got any last-minute questions before we get out of here. If you got any questions for KELZ or Bob or I, let us know in the comments below. That 53-man roster has been posted in OAT. It's all over everywhere in social media. It's at your viewing pleasure down there. We reference it here.
And I do have one point to make.
Yeah.
So I did tune in a little bit of y'all earlier show. And I did see a comment where it said if Dak Prescott get us to win the Super Bowl and yada 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 yada. I think we need to learn how to rephrase it, and I keep saying it. It takes an organization to get us to the Super Bowl.
That's why we ain't been there.
And Dak Prescott is not 53 men wrapped into one. So stop putting all this pressure on one person. Everybody on that team's name is not Dak Prescott.
Defense, 28 ranked in the league, stopping the run. I mean, we can look at all three phases of the game, but you bring up a great point. You do bring up a great point. And that's why I wanted to ask the question, are we better this year on paper? I think we're a little better than we were last year on paper. I do like the coaching staff. I do like the fact that the offensive coordinator came from Arizona. He likes to run the ball. You see, we've kept 4 running backs and a fullback. We've got we got a running back by collective, which KELZ shared with us here. The Cowboys is pushing, not a committee. It's a running back by collective. So you got Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, Jaden Blue, who is actually coming out in number 23. So if you're just tapping in, Jaden Blue's already announced that he will be back wearing 23s. I know a lot of folks is looking forward to getting those Jaden Blue jerseys out there. And then Phil Maffa, the bowling ball, the bruiser that KELZ told us about it. It just made sense. I mean, both our rookies made it. We got 2 rookies, we got 2 vets, and we got a fullback. Can we run the ball this year? I think the game is going to be one in the trenches on the offensive side first and on the defensive side of the ball because we got to stop the run. Somebody said that's still in here. Yeah, since last season, as long as we can get in the top third, stopping the run, we'll have a decent chance because with Pickens and with CeeDee Lamb, I mean, who knows? That's combustible situation.
And then on offense, we have Clayton Adams and Connor Riley, who loves to run the ball.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And
I'm all right with the offensive line.
And Flus likes to stop the ball.
I think the offensive line is improved right now simply because of our draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenneth, Deuce has been cut loose, baby. Deuce is out of there. There's Deuce, and then there's Deuces. He got the deuce. He's out of here.
But so, he may come back. He may come back.
Yeah, he could come back on the practice squad, which we'll have tomorrow. So, KELZ, I'm sure you'll have that list. We'll share it in OAT on the 17 folks that will make the practice squad. And I'm just glad now the roster's out of the way. Man, we got this game next week. People already coming out with their predictions. Can you guys believe it? All this preseason, all this offseason, minicamp, OTAs, we are now in the money week. Fantasy football drafts are going down. I know my guy Bob's not playing. Me and KELZ got our fantasy stuff going on.
I got one tonight at 8:30.
Yeah. And Bob, you brought up a good point. You said something on my post earlier. You said the value of the tight ends are going down, kind of like what you seen the value of the running back. a couple years
I
ago.
think
Is that what
that's-
you're seeing?
I feel like that's something we've been seeing for a long time, actually. And so what it is I believe what a lot of coaches are starting to figure out is when you hybridized other players like Parsons and turn a linebacker to a defensive end, you can do the same thing on offense. And a lot of those guys are staying in some single back situations and becoming extra blockers on purpose. Maybe not necessarily going out and getting those big yardage plays because they're in there being decoys. It's a really weird thing which transforming the position. I'm not saying that there aren't going to be great tight ends, but the number of offensive wide receiver style pass catching touchdown tight ends is going down every year.
This is the time that the tight ends are getting it this time, because before, it was the running backs, and the shelf life of a running back is 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Because they're running the ball and they're bulldozing through a defensive line. That takes a whole lot of hits. And then you'll see a lot of running backs get diagnosed with CTE. That's on offense. But because of the resurgence of Saquon Barkley, he brought the value back to the running back position, and last year really showed that running the ball actually matters. Now, like with this year's draft class was heavily saturated with running backs. Yep. So now we're seeing that. So next year, we had a few tight ends this year, but this next draft class that's coming in is going to be heavily saturated with quarterbacks and tight ends. And I think a lot of that because the production value of Travis KELZ has gone down.
Yeah.
The value of what's the one from San Fran?
Kittle.
His production value has gone down. Jake Ferguson, he was
hurt last year. Yeah, he had 5 or 6 touchdowns last year. Yeah,
and he's really the only tight end that we've had since Witten that's sort of been like a true pass catching dude. Right. And you don't. And another thing that I got to say about
he was targeted like 3 years ago. He was targeted like 70 times or something like that.
Oh yeah, and he was good. But I think especially in Dallas, if you are a tight end 2 or tight end 3, you don't really turn into anything. Yeah, you're not going to do anything. No one played over Jason Witten. No one's going to play over Ferguson. And it's just one of those weird things. We don't get those second and third development.
And when you look at it, and to piggyback to what you just said, when you look at it, we haven't had, and I'm just talking about throughout the whole entire league, we have not had a true tight end one, because normally the tight end ones are blocking tight ends. We haven't had a true blocking tight end since Witten, and that's throughout the league.
Yeah, so it's going down. That's when you said, I think what was the tight end you put up there in that question bubble you made, BG, that maybe answer that? You had a player in the middle
of which one?
A tight end. What was the tight end you were thinking about drafting? You had a little thought bubble. You were like all these questions, and then you had that tight. I forgot. It was who's Atlanta's tight end?
I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm sorry. I was focused on Leandro's question because he's popping up. He's popping up from earlier. Yeah, we answered your question, Leandro.
Yeah,
you gotta pay attention. He said over here that his wife had too much money. He wasn't really concerned with money. I told you we're not in a league like that anymore, because if you understand how the market and for the players work, they're not going to take less. They got to take what the market says they have to take.
And I pulled after the show was over, because I was still on the show when that question came up, and I also responded as well.
You were right about that too, because in the beginning he wasn't with her. What was a rookie, but I think it also was a weird circumstance where Brady was just this schlum guy who was starting to become very good, and he had a good coach there. Like
New England had a dynamic coaching staff during the time. So and when I saw that, I replayed that interview, and basically it was just a joking matter. Tom Brady has always played like on a rookie salary. he could have, like, once his rookie contract was done with, he could have made whatever.
You could have made record money for multiple years.
That record money was, and he won those Super Bowl rings during his first 3 or 4 years with New England, because he was drafted in the 6th round, so he only had a 4-year rookie contract. And technically he was like a QB2 or QB3 because Bledsoe got hurt. That's how he finagled his way in. So he won a couple of Super Bowls during his rookie contract year. And this was before he married Giselle.
Yeah, it's a different league now. I mean, you got to pay attention to the market. I mean, that sounds cool. That sounds like what network will tell you. Oh, this guy takes less so he can win. But you don't even really get but one side of the story. You only get part of that side of the story.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
if you understand.
If anybody look at it from the time New England has always had a hefty salary cap. They have never been in a negative. They never had to move money here or reconstruct.
We don't hear about players holding out over there and doing all that stuff with crap. I mean, don't y'all just wish we could be a team where they just sign folks under the rug and we just carry on and focus on football? Yeah, right.
We don't have the right hierarchy, man. We've got our owner as a GM is the most insane freaking thing in the world. Anything that we did in the 90s, we should not be doing right now. It doesn't make any sense. It was so long ago.
And you know what? And like I said, I did listen to DeMarcus Ware interview, because he was interviewed either yesterday or day before.
Yeah, he was very careful how he answered some questions.
But the thing is, not only he was careful. One thing I can say about Tank, he's very vocal, and he says what he means, and he means what he says.
Yeah, I thought he'd have a whole different vibe and energy, but it wasn't. Right. It was actually there. Let me give you my side of the story.
And he also talked about his demeanor and everything, how he was when he first met him, and all this other stuff. So one thing for certain and two things for true. Tank has he's been in the locker room, so he knows what he's talking about when it comes to number 11. So you have to take what he says at face value. And then he also said that this week on his interview, he said one thing he know about Jerry. He said he don't worry about other people's pockets. He said he never worry about another man's pocket. But the one thing that he can say about Jerry is if you do your job.
Yeah, because he admitted that Jerry took care of him. He told him what to do, franchise tag him. He told him go get it, and he got paid.
Yeah, and he talked to him. He said, "This is what I like. I like when you do this, but these are some of the things that you need to improve on." And Tank improved on a lot of those things. He said that Jerry got him into like a financial business class, so he knew how to work his money instead of it being abusing his money, because a lot of we have known for a lot of players that have basically ran through money and they don't have anything. So he set him up with a good financial advisor, and he in some of these nice endorsements that DeMarcus Ware has done during his tenure with us, a lot of that was Jerry Jones. And then when it came to fitness and health and stuff, Jerry Jones put him in those positions so he can improve on some of those deficiencies that Jerry Jones saw. So the only thing he said was, if you do your job,
you will get paid.
Yeah.
And in other news, I mean, I guess Post Malone is opening up at the halftime for the Giants game, and word just got released. Meek Mill will play at the halftime of the Cowboys Philadelphia.
I saw that too. He's supposed to be opening up for the Lions and San Francisco.
I don't know about that one, man, because there's a whole lot of plastic stuff being thrown at sporting events, Bob. And I'm just wondering how many plastic items will be thrown at Meek Mill in Philly at the link at halftime.
Like
realistic latex, things like that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Some plastic thingies. Y'all can't get my drift.
My thing is they have Meek Mill opening up for the the kickoff halftime show for Detroit Lions. I saw that too. So, and I did not see anything on Philly about them opening. I have one of my good friends who work for the Philly organization. I asked her if she heard anything about that, and she said, "No, that's news to her."
What about Meek Mill?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went and verified it. It could be some fake news, but I just thought that was funny because I was like, man, I just hope if Meek Mill performs, can Diddy get out of jail and show up at halftime so we can see a take that.
Definitely not. Keep him where he at.
Hey, Sterling's saying the latest comment there. I mean, Parsons isn't Haley. I don't know if that's necessary. I think Parsons is just as destructive as Haley is. And here's a crazy point. What if what Parsons is doing right now, holding out, doing all this stuff, what if he actually is being a leader to the young players right now by doing that? What if they're looking up to him and saying, you know what, dude, this is exactly what I'm talking about? Because here's the situation. An owner is always going to want to squeeze as much as they can out of a player for as little as possible, just as much as an owner is going to want to squeeze, or a player is going to want to squeeze as much money out of their career. There's something in the middle that makes teams get along, and our hierarchy is screwing that shit up. But what if what Parsons is doing is actually setting an example for how you have to act in the NFL if you are a great player?
Honestly, I can say, I mean, I would say that if that was the case, but let's be real. The reason why DeMarcus Lawrence left, I can't say it had much to do with money, because Washington made a play for him before Seattle. It was two reasons why he didn't go to Washington. One, he's not doing that. He said he's not doing that bandwagon, like, oh, right, I left one team and I'm gonna go to another.
And following Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator,
I'm gonna do another rival, because even though he's no longer he has his heart is in Dallas. So he said, I'm not gonna do that. And he said, and plus they already have a dynamic defensive line there. What good am I going to be to what's already there? He said he'd rather take his talents to somewhere else that defense need him. And he has a very good relationship with Aiden Dirty over in Seattle.
Yeah, I remember Aiden.
So that was a good fit right there. Yeah. But yeah, he said he ain't doing that. Oh, you know what? I'm no longer in Dallas. I'm going to go to Philly.
Right. And in other news, Jaden Blue wearing 23, as you see right there. He will be wearing 23 for the Cowboys September 16th. That is after the Giants game going into week 3. A public signing there, $65 autograph, $25 for a signature or inscription right there. You can see it, Bighorn Autographs. You can hit the little QR code right there. Go out there and meet Jaden Blue. I know there's a lot of hype around Jaden Blue, and the fact that he is now on the squad. All of the running back rumors have been put to rest. We know who the running backs are. We know who the wide receivers are. We can all get ready for our drafts this week, minus Bob. But we got this game next week, and we'll be kicking off our first pregame show next Wednesday, Bob. We're going to do it a day before next Wednesday. So you're welcome to join us back. Haven't came up with the whole theme name for the show this season yet. I'm a little tardy to the party on that, but we'll take your suggestions down there below. We'd be loving to have y'all both back too as well, because I'll be here for the Philly game, but I will be boots on ground for the New York game. But I think KELZ says she's doing something with her club on game day, so we're going to do the pregame show on Wednesday. That's on hump day. The smoke stream day, I know our day, but we got a Thursday night game, Bob. I hope you don't mind.
I know. It's tough, man. That, it's tough. We're going to get around. We're going to get back on the smoke stream eventually.
It's okay, but then we got a filler for next week. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Me and you will be here, but we'll be actually talking our Cowboys.
It's passable.
Along with KELZ, because KELZ will have any injury reports, any breaking news, any whatever's going on as we get ready to go in on the road. Division game, NFC East, very important. And we don't even know if we're going to have our most important defensive person on the squad or not, which raises the question. Turn on your notifications, man. We'll see y'all live in the gym on the next episode. Stay tuned. 17 names are making the practice squad tomorrow. My girl KELZ will have them, and we'll post them here for your viewing pleasure. This has been a 53-man roster review show. See y'all in the gym on the next episode.
Peace.
Keep growing, baby.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.